Karl finally voiced what many fans only say in private conversations. The kind of opinion that usually stays buried in late-night debates, message threads, and quiet speculation. It's the sentiment people hint at, but rarely hear spoken clearly, especially in front of a live national audience. Yet there it was, said plainly and without hesitation, broadcast in real time for everyone to hear. No softening the message, no careful wording to avoid backlash, just a direct statement that instantly shifted the tone of the discussion. In that moment, what had been whispers became a headline.
So I'm gonna say LeBron James. And you know what? Let the debate begin. And I don't give a rat's ass that they do. I just telling you who I would like. That's all.
I said that LeBron will. I find him to be the most talented player I've ever seen in NBA history. Got a problem with that statement by me?
Well, you sound like you're threatening me.
No, I'm not threatening you.
In one televised moment, a carefully protected narrative took a visible hit. The basketball world paused as reactions poured in from every direction. This wasn't a viral hot take or social media personality chasing attention. The words came from Karl Malone, a two-time MVP, a Hall of Famer, and one of the most dominant power forwards the sport has ever seen. That he didn't raise his voice. He didn't mock anyone. He didn't perform for headlines. Instead, he spoke calmly, directly, and with a tone that felt more analytical than emotional. That restraint is what made the impact so strong. Viewers weren't reacting to drama. They were reacting to clarity. Almost immediately, fans noticed something unusual. The moment didn't dominate highlight loops. Major debate shows didn't rush to replay it endlessly. Coverage felt measured, almost restrained. That quiet response created a second wave of curiosity. What exactly did Malone say that made the room go still? The interview that changed tone overnight. The conversation began as routine television. Malone appeared on a major sports network in early 2025 for what was expected to be a relaxed discussion about the modern game. The focus was evolution, how today's stars compare to past eras, how strategy has changed, and how the league continues to grow. Then came the inevitable question, the one that never disappears for basketball conversation. Where does LeBron James rank all time? Is he the greatest ever? Most former players handle that moment carefully. They speak in diplomatic language, praise multiple eras, and avoid definitive answers. Malone didn't follow that script. He answered directly, and once the words were spoken, the discussion instantly shifted from casual to historic. The studio fell silent. The host paused, and within minutes, online reactions surged. The resume argument. Numbers versus legacy. Malone began with a straightforward principle. If someone claims the greatest title in sports history, their championship record must be overwhelming and undeniable. He pointed to finals outcomes. Michael Jordan reached the championship series 6 times and won all 6. 6 appearances, 6 titles, 6 finals MVP awards. No Game 7 finishes needed. No losses at the final stage. By contrast, LeBron reached the finals 10 times and won 4. Malone's interpretation was blunt. Losing more championship series than you win makes the greatest ever claim harder to defend. He framed it not as criticism of talent, but as a standard applied to every legend equally. Then he addressed a common counterargument, that reaching more finals still shows dominance. Malone dismissed that logic quickly. He asked whether runners-up are celebrated the same way champions are. He reminded viewers that history records banners, not near misses. That line became the moment everyone remembered. Team changes and career strategy. Malone then moved to a more sensitive subject, career movement between teams. His position was simple. The greatest players elevate their surroundings rather than reshaping them repeatedly. He referenced major roster decisions across LeBron's career and argued that building new championship situations is different from transforming existing ones. The distinction, in his view, matters when judging legacy at the highest level. To illustrate the contrast, he pointed again to Jordan's era and to how teammates developed alongside him. He referenced the rise of Scottie Pippen as an example of growth within a stable system rather than relocation in search of advantage. Malone's conclusion was firm but measured. LeBron is undeniably great, but greatness and greatest are not identical. The pressure question: who takes the final shot? Malone saved his sharpest point for last: performance in decisive moments. He framed greatness as the willingness to embrace responsibility when everything is on the line. That he noted how certain players became synonymous with late-game control, including Kobe Bryant, whose reputation was built on demanding the ball when stakes were highest. Malone suggested that legacy is shaped not just by winning, but by who steps forward when risk is unavoidable. He then referenced one specific historical example: the 2011 Championship Series, pointing to statistical production and fourth-quarter presence as part of his evaluation. He didn't dramatize the example. He simply presented it as evidence. The tone never changed: calm delivery, numerical support, and steady reasoning. Silence after the statement, what followed the interview, was almost as significant as the interview itself. Public response from LeBron was absent. Major debate programs addressed the comments cautiously. Discussion spread widely among fans, but official reaction remained limited. That silence became part of the story. Not confrontation, not rebuttal, just stillness. Observers began asking whether the absence of response reflected strategy, disagreement, or simple restraint. No clear answer emerged, which only extended the conversation further. At a debate bigger than one player, Malone's remarks didn't deny LeBron's greatness. He acknowledged longevity, versatility, and influence as historically remarkable. His argument focused on something narrower: the specific criteria used to define the greatest single player ever. For him, championships under maximum pressure form the dividing line. By that measure, he believes the benchmark remains Jordan's era. Other legends also entered his reasoning indirectly, including Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, players remembered primarily for titles rather than appearances. His message, dominance at the finish line, defines historical hierarchy. While the conversation still echoes, this moment didn't create the GOAT debate. It exposed how firmly divided it remains. One side emphasizes longevity, versatility, and sustained excellence across decades. The other prioritizes championship perfection and peak dominance. Malone's comments didn't settle the argument. They sharpened it. And that is why the reaction was so intense. Not because a legend criticized another legend, but because he articulated a standard many debate quietly, but rarely hear expressed so openly on national television. The question still standing, the discussion now sits with fans, analysts, and future generations of players. Does championship record outweigh total impact? Does longevity equal supremacy? Or does the meaning of greatness depend on the era that defines it? The debate continues, louder, sharper, and more personal than ever.